Good afternoon. This is the Duke of Fremont Street broadcasting from Las Vegas, Nevada, here in the United States of America. Today is Tuesday, April 26, 2022. I've been trying to get this video on since this morning, but life is complicated and my business is keeping me quite busy. Before beginning this video, I would like to propose a toast to you all and thank you for taking the time to listen to what I have to say. I really appreciate you and I appreciate your interest in my videos. Salute. Exhilarating. Anyway, today's precious metal market is mixed. Gold is currently trading at around 1900 bid, 1901.70 by 1902.70 ask, with a gain of $3.50 or 0.18%. Silver, on the other hand, is trading lower. The bid is currently 23.47 by 23.57 ask, down 14 cents or 61 cents. I would like to get into this bid-ask situation later in the video, and we'll discuss that. The Dow Jones Index is continuing its downward spiral. Today is another bloodbath. We're down hundreds of points, way over 500 points right now. And it seems like it's free falling. So, be cautious if you own the stocks. Crude oil is back over the $100 a barrel benchmark. And I also invite you to keep an eye on the crude oil. Well, it's been over a month since I've posted my last video. And I'm well aware of this. It's weighed heavily on my mind. I've been wanting to get back and post, but it takes time and effort to put the videos together. I do all this myself. I'm actually recording right now on my cell phone, and then I transfer that into my YouTube account and then post it. All my videos are unedited. I wouldn't know how to do that if I tried. So I'm doing the best I can. I've had issues with the audio and so forth in the past, and I hope that you all will give me a pass on that. This past month, I've been extremely busy with the precious metals. In fact, this has been the busiest month that I've ever had in my entire career. So once I would get together to do a video or whatever, I would be getting a call to do a deal or whatever, and that will always take precedent over the videos. Rather than taking the time to film videos, I've been actually in my downtime watching a lot of YouTube. I enjoy YouTube immensely, and listening to other authorities on the precious metals. I'm not a member of their club. I'm a lone wolf, if you say. I kind of consider myself, if you're South American, I'm the jaguar. If you're African, I'm the leopard. If you're North American, I'm the lone wolf. I don't really, I'm not a member of any club when it comes to the precious metals. The people that I'm mentioning are people that I've never met, but I admire from afar. I appreciate their points of view and I appreciate their wisdom. So I'd like to mention a few of my personal favorites at the moment and recommend that you take a look at what they have to say. I think they bring a lot to the table. First of all, I'd like to mention a gentleman named Peter Schiff. I think he's a brilliant gentleman, and I love his point of view, and I listen intently when this man speaks. I think there's a lot to be learned from this fine young gentleman. Next, I would like to mention Mr. Alistair MacLeod. Alistair is he's calming when I listen to him. He's very articulate. He's very logical, and he's very proper. I think Alistair is quite the gentleman, and he always adds something to my repertoire of knowledge. On the other hand, there's a gentleman named Joe Clementi. And Clementi, to me, I just love this guy. He is about as passionate as you can get, a nice Italian American fella. And I love his videos, I love his passion, and I appreciate his candor and his honesty. So check out Mr. Clementi. I think you'll really enjoy him. Another one of my favorites is Lynette Zhang. Lynette has always made some very good points in the past, and her information is valuable to all of us. So please take the time to find Lynette Zhang on YouTube and listen to some of her wisdom. Another one of my favorites is a gentleman named Jim Rickards. Jim is calm, he's cool, he's collected, he's incredibly intelligent, and he's a voice of reason in these dark, chaotic times. I think Jim Rickards has made some brilliant points and will continue to do so. One of my other favorites is a gentleman named Doug Casey. Doug is currently down in South America residing. He's an American. And he made a point the other night on one of his videos to his listeners. He said, try to be as wealthy as possible. And I like the way he put it. He said it insulates you from a lot of the chaos and the calamities that are going to take place in this new dark ages era that we're approaching. I think Doug is also a very brilliant commentator, and most importantly, I think he's a realist. He's very analytical, and he's sometimes goes, in some people's estimation, to the dark side. I believe he's just very, very realistic as a person. And finally, last but not least, I love this gentleman. I had to write, I'm old myself. In fact, I'm probably contemporaries of most of the people I mentioned or older than them. But this gentleman, I wrote down old man. And he's a wise old man at that. And he's a gentleman named Jim Rogers. If you haven't listened to Jim or tuned him in, please do. Jim is an amazing individual. He has some very wise counsel. And I love the way he refers to himself as a peasant. I mean, what a great point of view. Anyway, while on this subject, there's a few of the interviewers that I like in particular. One is Daniela Gaboni with Stansberry Research. I think she does a brilliant job at bringing out some of the points that need to be mentioned to the people that she's interviewing. And the other is Michelle McGorry. She's with Kitco News. Also, she's very, very good at drawing out the information that we're looking for, and very, very professional and business-like. Like I mentioned, I don't know any of these people personally, but I certainly respect what they bring to the table and what they have to say. And I think probably one of the reasons we haven't crossed swords in the past is because they're all categorized in the established world, with the exception of perhaps Doug right now, Doug Casey down in South America. But they all are very legitimate people, and I'm not saying that I'm not. But I've been, in my life, not that much in the public eye with what I do with the precious metals. I've kept that very private and personal. I've always considered myself a vest pocket dealer, or more affectionately known as a street rat. So to me, it's not a job, it's not a vocation, it's a passion. It's something that I've done my entire life. It's my lifestyle. And to buy and sell and acquire and purvey precious metals to me is like water going through my gills. Anyway, please look at some of these folks. I believe that they bring a lot to the table and offer you contrary points of view when it comes to the metals. Let me change the subject real quick. With my business associates and friends, I think the most asked question, even from the most knowledgeable, wise people that I know, is, Duke, in your opinion, why are these prices for silver and gold so low? Well, that's a good question. And I can't give you a real answer that is concise. Obviously, I believe there's manipulation of the market, the precious metals market. And the Fed, for example, the last thing they want to do is see the general populace appreciate the precious metals, because that would trigger the demise of the fiat currency that they're spitting out by the trillions, billions, if not trillions. Let's put it this way: rather than dwell on why these metals are so artificially low, I don't kick a gift horse in the face. I use this as a tremendous buying opportunity to acquire more and to feather my own nest. In my opinion, you're not going to find these metals at spot. If you do, you consider yourself extremely fortunate. It's funny that when you deal in the comics or the paper market, the gold is separated by the bid ask by $1. 1900 and change by 1900 and change with a $1 difference. Silver is separated by a thin dime. I've been in this business all my life, and I've never seen where you can buy something for $1,920 and sell it for $1,921 and be happy about it. Or to buy an ounce of silver for $23.50 and sell it for $23.60. It's not done. So you have to take all that you see on paper with a grain of salt. I personally believe the true price of the precious metals is much, much higher currently. And if you don't believe me, try to go buy some. There is no supply. There's an incredible demand. And I've never seen things quite so upside down or ridiculous in my life when it comes to this market. Nothing really makes sense. As I mentioned earlier with the Dow, they've been getting slaughtered over there in the stock market, and so is everything else. Even the metals have taken some pretty good hits. Gold took a very big hit the other day. I was unhappy to see that, but it is what it is. I keep acquiring. Oh, incidentally, I'm a silver advocate. I live in the silver state. But lately I haven't found any silver, so I've switched it up to gold. I'll still buy the silver any day. And for all you listeners, I'm an old Missouri boy, and I love to horse trade. They say I'm a stubborn Missouri mule, and in a lot of ways I am. So if you have gold and you want to trade it for silver, or if you have silver, you want to trade it for gold or whatever, I'm always interested in those propositions. I'm easy to find here in Las Vegas. If you happen to be coming to Vegas, let me know in advance, and perhaps we'll set up a nice little meeting where we can either trade or barter or buy or sell. I have a website. I have a couple of them actually, which I'm going to revamp pretty quickly when I get around to it. And my websites are coins. ibuycoins.com, which is a brilliant website. I picked that up years ago before the .coms were really in vogue. And I've never really developed it. I do have some matter up on the website, but I'm tempted to just say, hey, you've come to this website, give me a call, and put my phone number there. Because I'm not too much on the virtual anything. I don't do virtual transactions. Everything I do is here and, eyeball to eyeball. So, and my other website is thedukeoffremontstreet.com, which is my trademark name. And I have a little subject, a little script up there, but not much. I'm ashamed to admit that I've neglected those websites. But perhaps in the future I will follow through with them and put up some interesting content. I mentioned earlier that I've been doing gold more than silver lately. And I'm acquiring a lot of gold that I would not have kept in the past. These, for example, are the South African 1 ounce Krugerrands, which are one of the oldest bullion coins in the world. They contain, actual gold weight is 1 troy ounce of pure gold per unit. These are Austrian 100 coronas. These are kind of neat. They're just under 1 ounce each. I think 0.98. Let me see if I can read that. 0.9802. Look at those. Those are gorgeous coins. The actual side that I really like is the reverse, which is the eagle. I hope you can see that with the light and so forth. But these are called the Austrian coronas. I'm picking up a lot of interesting gold, and in the past I kind of waited or shoot it by the wayside. A lot of it is out of necessity. If I'm buying gold, I don't really care what it is. I'm not into bars. I like coins. Here's a couple of bars I would like to show you. These small pound Swiss. These are 1 gram bars. Now those I think are really neat. But the bigger bars, I've never had a lot of luck with those. So here's a coin that I absolutely love. I showed in previous videos the Austrian 1 ducat, a gold coin. These are the 4 ducats. Aren't they gorgeous? That's and then they also have the 2-headed eagle on the back again. Each one of these 4 ducats contain 0.4438 ounces of actual gold. So I think they're neat because ducat in German is the Duke's coin, and so I'm particularly fond of those. These are kind of neat over here. These are the Switzerland, the Swiss 20 francs. And the sound of them sounds neat. These contain 0.1867 ounce of pure gold. I like the smaller denom. For example, I stack them in tubes. Each one of these tubes contains 50 20 francs. So if you do the math, 50 times 0.1867 each tube contain. These are pretty heavy. Gold is a heavy thing. Speaking of the Swiss, I think the Swiss I admire the Swiss. They're a tiny country in the middle of a conflict zone over the centuries. And they've managed to stay and remain neutral over the years. I'm an American. We Americans, I think, should learn a little more from these fine folks and not meddle so much in the world conflicts. I personally, speaking of world conflicts, we're over in Ukraine right now supporting the Ukrainians against the Russian incursion or invasion. And we're pouring billions of American dollars in that and weapons and so forth. And the way I look at it, we're basically poking the bear. We're poking the bear. The Russians, I'm not saying they were justified in their invasion, but the Russians are surrounded by hostile countries. And we're encouraging these countries, and we're supplying in particular Ukraine with lethal weapons. So put yourself in Russia's shoes. Imagine our southern frontier. Keep in mind, as America, we no longer have a border. We have a frontier. I've been on 6 continents, and nowhere on the planet would I classify what we have as a border. Forget that word. It doesn't exist anymore. Our southern frontier, where people, lawless criminals, and drug traffickers and human traffickers can come and go as they will, as they please, and anybody else in the world for that matter. It's virtually unattended. We have a few Border Patrol agents that are, and the only thing we get from our administration is critical or criticizing the way they operate. Remember the incident where the Border Control agents were on horseback and our illustrious president talked about, we're going to make him pay for it. You know, I mean, it's ludicrous. So once again, we have a frontier that's totally in chaos and being overrun by God only knows who. Yet we're taking our billions of dollars, our resources, and our hard-earned American tax dollars and pouring it into an abyss called Eastern Europe. I venture to guess that a lot of Americans prior to this conflict didn't even know where the Ukraine was. So enough said about my political thoughts on this matter. We have our own problems, and believe me, do we have our own problems. I've been on this planet long enough to remember when America was a different country than it is today. Doug Casey, one of the gentlemen I mentioned earlier, talked about having a getaway plan, or a second. Robert Kiyosaki said the same thing. Have a getaway plan. Don't use this as perhaps your only refuge. And there's probably something to be said about that. So we'll see. The last thing I want to say about these high premiums is this. I'm a believer in the precious metals. I believe we're going to the moon. And if, for example, we go to $5,000 gold or $100 silver or more, do you think that you will really remember whether you paid $1 or $2 more than you should have in a premium for silver, or $10 or $20 more than you should have for gold? It would be a moot point. It wouldn't matter. So there's two types of people, those that have it and those that don't. So I'll leave you with a rhetorical question. When it comes to precious metals, are you in? Well, I guess we've covered a lot of ground today, and it's a great way for me to just get back in the saddle with y'all. I appreciate your views in the past, your comments in the past, your shares in the past, and I continue to do so. I hope to make many more videos in the future, and like I said, I'm making these on my own. They're unedited. I am monetized, but I have yet to see a dime for any of these videos on the YouTube channel. So I'm certainly not doing it for the money. Sometimes I wonder what I'm doing it for, but I will plod along and carry on and do my best to continue expressing my points of view. Finally, your suggestions would be more than appreciated on future videos. Sometimes I'm like a writer with writer's block. There's plenty of subject matter, but I don't know where to begin. So once again, your input is always welcome. Well, until I do see you again, I wish you nothing but happiness, wealth, and good health. Salute. Well, till the next time we meet, let's try to keep in touch. And this is the Duke of Fremont's reading, saying so long. Bye-bye.